John Stuart Mill grew up during the Enlightenment period, 1806 to 1873. He was born into a wealthy English family. He was very much aware of the Enlightenment and Romanticism movements, Enlightenment being rational thinking and believing in natural rights, ideas adapted from John Locke and Voltaire, and Romanticism being emotional thinking and valued imagination. As Mill grew and started developing his own ideas, he was influenced by David Hume, who believed that nothing in life is certain, and we only know for sure what our senses, sight, touch, smell, and etc., tell us. He was also influenced by Jeremy Bentham, who believed in utilitarianism, the idea that pointless things are pointless. For example, food is good, but exaggerated food is unnecessary. Being so influenced, John Stuart Mill wrote The System of Logic, which was a book entirely of his own theories and opinions, which he then called Mill's Methods. Mill liked Bentham's happiness principle, the idea that the best thing to do is the thing that causes the greatest happiness for the most amount of people, but Mill thought the idea needed to be fleshed out. He thought the best way to make the greatest number of people as happy as possible would be to find a way to link personal happiness with the happiness of the whole society, so that people made decisions not only based on their own happiness, but what was best for society as a whole. To do this, we need 1. To allow people to pursue their own happiness. 2. Make a law protecting this right. And 3. The only time you should not be allowed to pursue your goal is if it harms others, or the harm principle. Mill was fixated on quantifying happiness. He wanted to find a way to measure the levels of happiness. He even made a happiness equation in which intellectual and cultural pleasure was more important than physical. Mill states that the sole evidence it is possible to produce anything that is desirable is that people do actually desire it, which essentially means something is only worth striving for because it is striven. In his later years, Mill's ethics were regarded as practical utilitarianism. He thought that anything stopping someone from pursuing happiness was tyranny. In addition to being a philosopher, Mill was a politician. He advocated for free speech, human rights, and the abolishment of slavery. Mill was also influenced by his wife and even supported women's suffrage. All in all, John Stuart Mill's main belief was of this: decisions should be made on the principle of the greatest good for the greatest number. Individuals should be free to do whatever gives them pleasure, even if it could harm them. But they are not entitled to do things that could harm others. Individuals can choose to do things that affect their own body, but not that of someone else. Thus, over his own body and mind, the individual is sovereign.